Hello, and welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network on a special Tuesday episode. Normally on Tuesdays, I would do a Builder Insight show and invite a guest. And I have been so excited because we just finished BricksCascade, and I had a chance to meet with a lot of builders. Sometimes I was able to meet them for the first time in person. And also, we had some amazing results. And I can't tell you how excited and happy and thrilled I am because in 2020, that was my first Bricks Cascade. I almost didn't go. I had three different people who encouraged me to go, and that was Allie Perry, Deneen McDermott, and Ferg Pons. And the three of them kept saying, no, you got to go, you got to go. And in 2020, that was my introduction to the the various themes that they had at the convention, and I brought my Spice Pirates ship, and I had a few builds. And then what was amazing about the Bricks Cascade is how many different kinds of collaborations they have. And over the years, I, even though we had COVID, I was able to display again last year. And in that 2020 discussion, I had seen the Jurassic Park collab. And Ferg is a part of the Jurassic Park collab, and we were chatting some more. And I said, so what's it take to be a part of this? And he was with another of the builders, JJ. And JJ looked at me, he goes, we need a vet services building. If you can build a vet services building and you don't mind wearing a lab coat and talking to people about the display, I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. I'd be happy to do that. And I have to admit, I have to do more work on this Jurassic World Vet Services building, but I am very, very proud of it. It's one of those things that you don't know how pressure can really force you to really think quickly. And I was really glad that I did that. And the other thing, too, is that our group this year decided to move to the modular integrated landscaping system format. And, I've been sick, pretty sick for the last month or so. I still have a little bit of this frog in my throat. It's much better. I'm feeling so much better. But I just wasn't building. I wasn't streaming that much. As you know, it's been an interesting road. But a couple things that came out of this were just, first of all, meeting so many amazing AFOLs. One of the people I met who had an amazing exhibit, it was a deep ocean exhibit. And I had a chance to meet Ryan Van Dozer, or Doozer, and he goes by the name The Bearded Pescador, or the bearded pescador. And I met him during the dim light display. That's another thing this convention has, is they have a section on Saturday night where they turn all the lights off for a couple hours, and you get a chance to check out the various displays. Well, his display, along with Trey, who goes by Jorge_Bricks, both of them created this collab of this underwater seascape with, as if you were in an aquarium walking around. And I was just blown away. So I'm hoping that I'll have a chance to work with him some more and just learn some more of the techniques that he put together in his mock. That's the best part, is you learn so much from all of these builders. So for today's episode, what I thought I would do is, first of all, thank everybody, because a couple weeks ago, I worked on a couple of different storybooks, the Disney storybooks, and I happen to have one here. So this one we worked on last week, which is the Little Mermaid storybook. And we worked on another one a couple weeks ago, which was the Peter Pan one. And a couple weeks ago, I was looking at the parts, and I was looking at this spine, this gold spine. And I said, if you turn that inside out, I bet that would be a great surface that you can build on to create a building. And I'm going to open this up just a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And it's a good thing this one popped off, because it kind of gives you a sense of, there's all these different studs. And I said, if you reverse this and have these facing the outside, that would be an amazing thing to start with for putting a building together. So this was only a couple weeks ago that we were talking about it on stream. And then I went ahead and bought 6 of them. So I got 6 of those gold spines, and I got quite a few of the long pins, the Technic pins. And then as I was thinking about it some more, I said, I should just build it for BricksCascade. It's coming up in a couple weeks, and I I really kind of waited to the last minute, but I was really tickled with the way it came out. So what I was going to do is show you, since this is Builder Insights, this is my Builder Insights on how I created this building. And Brick Jedi's here. Hey, Brick Jedi. Good to see you. I know this was kind of an impromptu stream, but I just figured that I wanted to, while it was fresh on my mind, talk a little bit about BricksCascade and also talk about how I built that golden spine tower, because it all came out of this stream a couple weeks ago, which the very first time was the Peter Pan stream, the Peter Pan storybook. And I remember saying, man, these gold spines would be really great to try to make something out of it. And what I did is I went ahead and bought some from a Bricklink seller, and then I just started playing around with it, and I put together this tower, which ended up winning an honorable mention award. And part of what I want to just share with people is that things don't have to be perfect, right? I think the problem is that people get so wound up about trying to make everything look perfect and everything sit properly. And honestly, even when I show you this model, it's very janky. There's a lot of things that I need to buy some more parts to make it more stable. And there are other things that I would like to do in the future, like light it. But I was so excited when this came together. It's a hexagonal building because I got 6 of those spines, and I could expand it if I wanted to. And the other funny thing that came out of this is that I was showing the undercarriage of these plates. And as soon as I turned it over, P.T. McEwen just burst out laughing. And part of that is that I haven't really looked at my collection, and I was just at the time just piecemealing everything together. So I'll show you that too. But so today is, if I was going to answer any questions people might have about the convention. Also, I have a couple of Instagram accounts that I have pulled up, like the BricksCascade account, for example, and the Olsen Brothers Builds account, because they have some pretty cool photos there. And of course, this build. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start on the build, because the other reason why I want to start on the build first is that I may have mentioned this, that the lighting in this area of my living room, which is I'm using for my YouTube studio, it's not that great. I had a chance to visit with Yano, and she showed me her babe cave, and I really got to get some of those floor lamps and really brighten this area. So I want to do that first while I've got light, because I'm starting at 7. Normally I would start at 6 on a Tuesday. So I'm going to start with that first and just kind of give you a bird's eye view of the build and give you a chance to ask me questions about this too. And Spot the Magic Ninja's here. Hey, how's it going, Spot? So this, like I said, this was all due to the encouragement of people here, and just I talk out loud, right, when I'm building, and then you give me feedback. And then when I have this, just kind of the light bulb goes off in my head, like, hey, I should try doing this. And then you encourage me to do it. So this, from concept to presentation, has only been, I was going to say 3 weeks, where I had the concept of using these spine pieces and then turning that around and making it into a micro scale tower. And so I wanted to show you that first while I have light, and then we can answer any questions that we might have. So this is the top view of my tower. And as I mentioned, things don't have to be exactly perfect. In fact, this base fell apart a couple of times because I haven't secured it quite well. So let me first of all lift this up and show you what the problem is. So first of all, this was designed to allow for lighting of a previous mock. So I had these other buildings on these green plates, and there were strategic holes that were put in there. And this used to have one of those bracelet towers. So imagine two bracelet towers over here, side by side, and then some landscaping. So it was, that was the intention of this particular one. But this is what PT was laughing at. So I was showing him the back, and as soon as I turned this over, he just started laughing hysterically. Because, I mean, look at this hodgepodge, right? And that's because, and see, a plate already just dropped off. That's because I was just cobbling together a base based on how many plates I had at the time. So if you look closely, you can see some of them are 1x2 plates, some are 2x2s, 4x4s. I mean, if I was really strategic about it, I would place 4x4s going across and then take some of those out and then put in and, strategically create the base holes. But now I was retrofitting this to fit this tower, because when I built the tower, as you can see here, the tower is huge. It will not fit on just one plate. So on one corner, because if it fit on one corner, then I could have just taken one of those bracelet towers off and then just plopped it in there and then I'm done. But this tower is massive. It takes up essentially the entire center of this block, this city block. So what I did is I said, okay, so I removed all of that. And the other reason why it's kind of funny, the undercarriage, is that these were designed so that there were these arches on the side to allow for cabling to go through and then be able to light your mocks. But the problem is, the way I have this, you see, when you build a Mills or a Micropolis plate, it's brick or a plate, brick, plate height. And so you can't really route a wire straight through from here to the other side. You have to kind of go this way and this way and across and over. So I have to redesign the undercarriage, but I didn't have a lot of time. So that was one thing. The other thing is that this tower, as you can see these jumpers here, I have these jumpers. And then what PT had at the time is he said, well, I have these cones, and I'm going to just grab some cones here. And he had some green cones that he used for trees. So I gave them back to him because, parts are parts. So we had these cones here. And this is what the tower secured to. So it wasn't exactly clutch power, because when I show you, and hopefully this won't fall apart, but you can see when I turn this to the side that it has these fences around. So the cone essentially goes through one of these holes. So we have a hole and a hole and a hole where those different cones would go through. And this part is starting to fall apart. So I'm just going to go ahead and start taking this apart and showing you how this was built. But I was so excited that I got recognized in an honorable mention for the way this tower came together. So let me take the top off, and then you'll see. Oh, that's pretty good clutch power there. Okay. All right. So if you look down the center, and I know the lighting isn't that great here, you'll see that the spines, there's nothing to attach to the outside of the spine. All of the attachment points are out here. So since this one is starting to fall apart the most, I'm going to start taking this one apart. These spines, in fact, hold on, let me show you one without anything attached to it. That's some good parts usage. Thank you. Thanks, Brick Jedi. Yeah, I think Marianne Asanuma stopped by my mock, and she goes, you know what, you just like to take parts and figure out a way to make a building out of it. So here's what the part looks like, just unadulterated, just the way it is set up. I'm going to move this camera over just a little bit so I don't have to keep leaning over. Let's see, hopefully, let's see. Let's try that. All right. So here we have all of these studs. I mean, this is a plethora of studs here. So what I did is to connect the Technic pins here, what I would do is I had these 1x2, and let's see if I can remove this. Okay, so you can see, first of all, we have these little tiny black axles. So these little black axles are part of the design. And really the best part is this 1x2 half lifter arm. And I'm sorry the lighting is kind of janky here, but it's a 1x2 half lifter arm with the two the two axle holes. So that allowed me to attach the pin. So if I start taking this apart, and that's the great part about Lego, is that you can come back and say, okay, how can I redesign this to make this stronger? So in the normal book design, you have these long gold pins, and these long gold pins have this axle hole on one side and then the long pin on the other. So this is what attaches here to the storybook. And then you have, I'll just go ahead and do it this way. Then you have the black axle, and then you have on top of that the half lifter arm. So the 1x2 half lifter arm. And what's interesting about this is because you have this pin here, it has some flexibility, so you can have some articulation. It has a little bit of clutch, but not a lot of clutch. So you really have to stitch it all together for it to hold in place. So that is how that was put together. And then while I was looking at this, since it's gold, I said, you know, I have these gold fences, which are really cool. So before I had put on these grills, I was just looking at this, and I just put these around the perimeter. So if you can imagine just these 1x4 fences going around the perimeter of this thing. And why is this not clutching? It's like, I think it's because I'm in a studio, and what looks straight to me is not actually straight. It's like, all right, what's happening here? All right, let me back up a little bit. Let's take that off. Let's take this off for a second. And okay, so you can see that you have just these fences going around. Here, I'll turn it sideways. It's probably easier to see. So you can see the fences are going around the perimeter. And then I had the two fences on the bottom to kind of cap it off. And that's when I was mentioning that when I was looking at this, like there's really nothing to attach to the base, this plate here. So when PT and Zonker and I were chatting, we decided the best part would be to use those jumpers so we could adjust where the hole would be, and then put in a cone so it would have enough of a clutch so that it would stay on the plate. So when you move the plate around, the whole building would move together. So as I was pulling this together, I was looking at the center, and originally when I was looking at these 1x2s to make it look like windows, I started by putting them this direction, you know, kind of perpendicular, but then it didn't quite look right because then you had studs showing, and I said, really, it needs to go up here. And you can tell that there's a 1x2 half or small bracket that I had to put up top. So actually, let me take this portion off for a moment. Okay. So if you look at these step by step, I started with the fences. Then after the fences, I looked at this and I started saying, well, you know, you got to finish the studs because you don't want those studs showing. And then I said, well, how am I going to put the windows in there? And that's when I looked at this, and I had sent PT a draft. I said, this is my work in progress. And I said, I'm a little concerned about what to do here because there really isn't anything to finish it. And he said, you need some slopes. I said, yeah, absolutely, I need some slopes. So that's when I went in with these 1x2 by 2 bricks, and it's, I think, a 30-degree slope. And these fit in perfectly here. Oh, I should step back. So remember, we had the 2 studs at the end here, and I finished them off at that part. And then I looked at this and I said, well, I'm going to need to put a roof on top. So that's when I decided to put these 2x2 down brackets. So the 2x2 down brackets go here. So then that way I have something to attach to all of that. Okay, so then I was looking at this and I said, yeah, definitely need some slopes to kind of cover that up. And the other person who has given me that kind of suggestion is Debo, because I was working on another mock where, and this I was doing on stream, that was the one, the Santa coming down the chimney, the Santa's visit. And Debo suggested that I put slopes here for the mantle. And so this is a very similar technique. All right, so as I was looking at this, and then I started looking at the windows, and I said, you know, I need these windows to go in here. And this is really janky. I'm going to share with you just how little clutch this has. So this kind of slides in here, but there's nothing to attach. There's like no studs here. I mean, there is a stud here. So maybe I could redesign this to maybe put, you know, what probably would be better is if I just put a 1x2. Let me see if I have one. Hold on. Let's see. All right. So if I put one of these down just so that it doesn't pop up. So I'm going to see what happens. All right. So I'm going to put that one down here. So you're seeing a redesign on the fly. Okay. Now when I put this in, it will bump up against that, so it won't fly out as much. I wonder if no, I can't put 2 because that'll be too much. Okay, so here's the janky part. So I have the bracket, right? I have this up bracket, this 1x2 up bracket, and then I put these grills across like this. And this is the part, this is only being held by 1 stud on each side, like that. And then I secure it down. Oops, see how it's already falling apart? So it has just that one little clutch on the one bracket and a little clutch on the other bracket. And it, like I said, it is a little on the janky side, but aesthetically, I really like that. Okay, so you see, I'm going to hold it this way so I have gravity working in my favor. Okay, there we go. So now we have the windows in there, and I put that 1x2, so if you kind of look on the side, you can kind of see it. So I should do that for all the others, because now it won't move any farther down than that. And there's another grill. So this other piece is just really a facade, and it just goes across just to make it look nicer, like that. And I dropped the other one. Okay. All right, so that's where I got to that point. And imagine that this is all connected because I had put together all of the pins and the half lifter arms, and I was kind of working on it that way. And then when I got to this point, I said, you know, I hate having studs exposed. So that's when I found these pieces. These are came in a lot of the Ninjago and the Chinese New Year sets, or the Lunar New Year set. So I put these on to finish it off like that. And this is essentially the base module. And once I put it together, and I'll go ahead and let's see if we can do this. We have the pin. So the pin goes in just like it normally would. But this goes back to, you know, when you're building a mock, sometimes you have to look at shapes and how the shapes kind of come together. And it may not be in any book you've ever seen anywhere, and you just kind of look at it and say, what will fit? What's going to fit in there? So you see what I did is I just put the pin and I put one of those little black axles in there. I'm going to put the little black axle in here. Oops, of course I dropped it. There it is. And then this lifter arm will pull these together. And of course this one came out. Let's see if we can do this. And I mental note, I will definitely have to add some more light because it's now what, almost 7:30, and my light situation is getting worse. But I had known that that was going to be an issue. They would look awesome with a light strip in each tower. Yes, that's what I'm thinking, is that, you know, a little light strip, and maybe even I could, if I design this properly, have something coming up from the middle and using these cross areas to hold the center part up. I didn't have a whole lot of time in the design, so just imagine that you have this as your core. And the other thing about this is, remember I was showing you about the articulation? So you see how this kind of moves around? And that's when I thought about the roof. And I, first of all, I don't know if I should pull all of this off, but you can see my grills were really one of my go-to pieces for finishing. So for finishing this off, I was using that. And I'm not sure if I can get to this. All right, yeah, I can, yay. This is also a piece that I absolutely love. This is that corner piece, that curved corner piece. So when I was putting this together, I was looking at, you know, how can I make this somewhat interesting instead of just a flat piece. And if you look at the back, you have some of these triangular corner pieces, and then I just put straight across 1x8s. So then that way it gave me this shape. Then I put on these into the center along with, let's see, you can kind of see it on the side. Those are the 1x2 with the round curve. Yeah. Anyway, so this is kind of how I put the roof together. So I'm going to just go ahead and put these back because this is, like I said, I'm running out of light. It's like, okay. So let me take these off, these 1x4s angle plates. So when you look at this, it would be nice if it was a perfect, you know, hexagon. But unfortunately, with the parts that I have, it didn't work that way. So you can see it's kind of an oblong shape, almost like a football shape. So I kind of used the fact that this is kind of janky, so I could, you know, use that to my advantage. And I leveraged these 1x8s that are across. And these actually have very good clutch power when you connect it here. So I connect that, and then I connected it on this side. And like I said, you have to kind of maneuver this around. And come on, work with me. Of course, I'm on camera, so it's not cooperating as well. Ah, okay. All right, that's okay. This is Lego. It'll come back together. But you see what I'm trying to do here. In fact, maybe what I should do is put these on the bottom and then try to connect it that way. Let me see if I can do it that way. Okay, so that's connected there, and then that will connect here. And this, I guess, is one advantage of having this open on the bottom, except it falls apart, is that you can, you know, have some leverage. Okay, so a couple pieces fell off here. Like I said, it's a little janky little build. Okay, that's there. And then this one, and this one, you know, the top doesn't have to connect because that one section connects to it. And once again, I'm going to have to turn this kind of sideways to be able to push up against it. Okay, All right, there we go. So now we have the roof connected. Well, it's a little squirrely, but you get the point. So it goes back to, once again, that things don't have to be exactly perfect, but you make do with what you have, and it's you're innovating something. Okay, so that's kind of the core. And then this last part, I didn't have a lot of these 1x4 angle plates, so I just decided I'm just going to put them in the same direction. So if I remember right, I think I put them this way. No, maybe this way. Yeah. So it just made it symmetrical, and by doing it this way too, it kind of hid those 1x2 lifter arms, because the black, this one, if you take a look, kind of shows it more dramatically. And then, okay, why is this acting up? Here, let me move this out of the way for a moment. Here, see if we can do it this way. Yeah, see, it's already a little off. It's not a little off, it's really off. All right, let's fix this. It's Lego, it's fixable. All right. So the 1x8s are here and here. This side looks pretty secure. This side has come loose. And like I said, don't try this at home, kids. Or actually do try this at home and try to make it better. All right, let's see if that will clutch. All right, that looks like it's clutching. And then some of these other fence pieces are now coming loose. So I'm trying to adjust these. Okay, why is that not clutching well? All right. Like I said, it's like, all right, you get the idea. Okay, so now it's pretty stable. Okay, so here's the part that's going to be interesting, is now we have to line up those holes on the bottom with these cones. Oh, no. Okay. Like I said, don't try this at home live on camera. So it's like it's falling apart again. Okay. I'm going to get this to a point where at least this is stable. Hopefully. You're not in a hurry, are you? I think I'm also nervous because of the lighting situation, because I know that the lighting is fading fast. So I think that's why I'm working faster than I normally would. I'd be a lot more intentional than what I am right now. And I don't know why this one particular fence will not clutch. Why are you not clutching? There we go. And as many people know who streaming and building is not always the easiest thing to do. And where did my other gold piece go? Okay. There it is. Okay. Well, good. You're not a chatty bunch, so I don't have to worry about responding. Okay, we're back to the core. Core is in place. Let me see if we can get this to clutch properly. There we go. And sometimes maybe that isn't the right one. Maybe I need to go to this one. Maybe this one would be better. It's not cooperating. Why are you not cooperating? All right, let's try this again. Quiet chat today. We're all lurking. Yeah, I think I'm also a little tired because I just came back from a convention, which was amazing. Probably one of the best conventions I've been to. Mostly because I like smaller conventions anyway. Because people, were saying, well, Brick World Chicago, you should go. I go, I just hate crowds. I don't really like hanging out with crowds. Crowds are not my thing. Okay, here we go. So now that is secure. So now I can put these elements, which are really just to cover those black 1x2 lifter arms. So if they come in white, that's what I should do, is I should get white and then maybe white axles or a lighter color, maybe like a light bluish gray, something like that. Let's see, why is this one? Uh-oh, am I off a little? Oh, okay. Like I said, you have to maneuver these around. Come on, come on. I know you can do it. It's close. There we go. Okay, so then you have one more. Where'd it go? All right, is it underneath? Oh, there it is. Okay, last one. And this goes here. Okay. Oh no. Like I said, these fences are sensitive. Okay, now let's see if we can get this on these cones. Like I said, I didn't plan this out. So I was like, what content can I do? And so I'm just kind of doing this, playing this by ear here. And I'm not even sure if I put those cones in the right place. It's just, oh, you know what happened too? Remember I put that 1x2 in? I can't remember which one it was. I think it's this one. That's why it's not sitting down there. Is that the one? Of course it is. The one that I did that experiment with. So mental note, it works, but what I have to do is I need to put it onto a higher up section. So now I've got to rearrange this. All right. There we go. Okay, so can't go on that one. Let's try this one. This one. And, let's see. Well, you get the idea. I think it'll fit here. No, don't tell me that's the same one. There we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, my friends, I think, oh no, this one cone is off a little. Come on. All right. All right, well, clearly that's not the right position for the cone, but we essentially worked it out, and I'm not going to fuss with it too much here. But just imagine that all those cones are holding the center of that fence together. So that's the honorable mention tower, the Gold Spine Tower, that came together in a couple weeks thanks to this chat. So thank you again for your inspiration and helping me pull this together, because I was, I wasn't sure what I was going to build. I had no idea what it was going to look like, but I am really happy with it. And I think that overall, it does need some re-engineering. I probably need to put some Technic pins at the bottom, but I didn't have any gold ones left. And you need 12 to go around, because you need 2 for each side of each of the spines. So if you can imagine, so I have them on the top. I don't have them on the bottom. So I think I need to order some 12 more of those, plus some axles and some 1x2 lifter arms. And then that would make it solid, as far as you wouldn't have it moving as much. So that's one thing. We just did a test of putting the 1x2 translucent brick underneath, and that would push up the windows, because there was one point where some of the windows were pushing in so far that they popped out. So that is actually going to make it more stable as well. So I'm really happy with that. That's another re-engineering that needs to be done. But, and then of course the undercarriage, that I really need to redo that, so it's a little bit easier. But yeah, I think that going back to how do you come up with buildings, how do you come up with ideas, and looking at the seed part challenges, I think I might want to do this as a seed part challenge. You know, how many people can, what can you make out of this? You might be able to make a ship out of this too. You know, just looking at it, you could, you know, make a ship and have some angle plates, and yeah, you could do some really cool things with this. But today we made a building. Okay, so questions. Anybody have questions about what happened over at BricksCascade? Because now that I have this that I've shown you, what I can do is I'm not as stressed now about my lighting situation because I do have enough light on my face. It is getting darker, as you can see. So we'll probably end it in about another, 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so let me share with you. I have a couple of different Instagram tabs that I have. So let me share that. Okay, let's start with this one. All right, so this is BricksCascade and Instagram account, and they just posted the group photo, which I was really, really happy to see. So they said 577 builders who had been registered for this, and every year it's gotten bigger and better. And it says the Oregon's Convention Center staff boo whiz for the awesome prizes with the battle brick robots and Lego for their highly sophisticated interlocking brick system being an awesome product. And you, the public, for making this year the best convention yet. Over 8,000 of you came for a visit, said hi, asked great questions, and marveled over 1,400 plus awesome creations all of our attendees brought to show you throughout the weekend. So anyway, so here are the people. And if you're looking for me, here I am right here. So I'm wearing my Jurassic Park hat and my Kaiju Park shirt. So, and I remember this guy had his arms up in the air the whole time. So I was like, that's an easy way to find where I am. So that's me in the sea of people that are here. And like I said, it was just a lot of fun to meet all these people. You've been enjoying the pictures from the show. I wish I could have gone. I'm telling you, spots, you need to find a con. As I mentioned, there is one in Toronto I just heard about that's coming up. I want to say Bricks for 6, something like that. So that one, if you're in Buffalo, you literally just have to drive over the border. So that might be the one that you try to attend. Okay, so that is the whole group shot. Let me see if I can get to the next one. The other cool thing is they had these people who were cosplaying the Cloud City Garrison, who came out and were greeting people at the door when they came through in their cosplay. That was really fun. And let's see. Here's another couple of mock kind of overviews. So they have here, this is part of the Jurassic Park, I think, or no. Yeah, this is the entrance to the Jurassic Park Visitor Center. This one, I believe, is the Muppet Theater. Yeah, there was a full Muppet Theater that was created. This is the bunkers. This was a Ferris wheel that was in the middle of a bunker, which was very cool. And this one, I want to say, I don't remember seeing this one, but I have a feeling this was in the castle section. You can see the Forest Men minifigs on that one. And let's see. Oh, there was the BattleBots section. I didn't get a chance to watch the BattleBots, but I heard it was a lot of fun. And they were also there at BrickCon not too long ago. But yeah, like I said, just so much going on. It's so hard to take it all in. Now, this is interesting. They did a 9 I guess, a mosaic of 9 different shots. And my Rorschach prints made it to the bottom. So here are my Rorschach prints. So I brought 2 of them because one of them, I had a third one, but it fell apart. But those 2 were on display. And then I don't know if I know all of these. I think this one is a GBC, this arcade one. And this, I think, was over in the castle area. I think, actually, I believe that's part of the Cactus Brick collab. It looks very familiar. This one I know actually is from the classics area. And this one is the jungle and Johnny Thunder and all of that area. So this was in classic. Yeah, so quite a variety. I think this was in Town and Train, since you have the train track. And let's see, do I see anything else familiar? Yeah, like I said, just a lot of really cool stuff going on. And let's see. Okay, this is just what the Oregon Convention Center looks like. This was the advertising for that. I'll just show you that they called it, they came from a mother dimension. Now, remember what I was hoping to do for this is I wanted to do a pandas in space mock. I never got around to that. However, I do want to say that I do have the mock that was made for the Tricky Lug collab, which was Friends and Castle. And I have PT McEwen for encouraging me to do that, because honestly, I had it on my radar, but I had a lot of stuff going on. Oh, and today, sadly, it's during my work season. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And you work 7 days a week until winter. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think most of the cons end by September, October. So then maybe you'll be able to catch one in February, March. Maybe that's the time that you need to, because they're going to, kind of going back to this where it says it's from a mother dimension, that it's because it was on Mother's Day weekend. Normally this convention's in March, and they did make an announcement that it'll be in the middle of March next year. So maybe you should come out to Portland in March of next year. You might be able to get a flight from Buffalo to Portland. Okay, so let me see. I think some of you have seen my my links already, but I wanted to share with you another one, which is the Olsen brothers. And I know them because they are part of the Jurassic Park collab. And there's one particular post that I really wanted to share, which is from Davey. So Davey Olsen. So this is the post that I wanted to share with you. And the reason why is that this is like a retrospective of where the collab was so many years ago, because it started back in 2019. And we won the People's Choice Award. And so here's what it started off as. Let me just see if he has these as individuals. No. So let's go back and let me zoom in here. All right. So that's James Ritzman, and that's Bob Day. And they essentially wore these suits that have dinosaurs on them. It's kind of like ugly sweaters, but they're suits, which I thought was hilarious. So they wore these, and they're train people. They love doing trains. So that's kind of how this all started. Is it started as a train collab with a Jurassic Park theme. And all it was this little track going around a pen and a couple of dinosaurs in there. And this was also Davey, who is the person who posted this. That's Davey here on the left. And also kind of in the background is JJ here. And I think that's Brett Hooper. So January of 2019 was the start of this whole concept. And it was just 2 guys who said, hey, I like trains. I like Jurassic Park. Let's put them both together. And then it gradually got bigger. And I think this was the time, too, when Davey decided to wear his Jurassic Park Ranger outfit. So if you can see that they started with these suits, and he wore a t-shirt. Then he put on this like ranger outfit. Okay, now this next version in 2019 in BricksCascade, there's 6 of them, and Brett Hooper's here, JJ, Ben Kahn, Bob Day. I think that's James Ritzman. I don't know who this is, and her name tag is missing. So I don't know who that is, but there were 6 builders in May of 2019, and you can see it got bigger. I mean, and you can see in the background, they went from like two 64 by 64 sets of plates to this, right? So, and they had the visitor center, they had the front gate, and then here's the next version in September of 2019 at Comic-Con, Rose City Comic-Con. So you can see it's gradually getting bigger and bigger. And there's 6 people again. I guess the woman in the previous picture, I think, was replaced by maybe this person, because I think JJ was in the previous one. Let's take a look. Yeah, JJ was in the previous one. Okay. So I'm just amazed at the evolution of this. Okay, now this is, I think, the big jump when they really added a lot of builders. And this, let's see, this was BricksCascade 2020. So this was my very first BricksCascade. I was not part of the team back then. I was just enamored by all the things that they did with it. And you can kind of see that it's half of this big display area. So, but it's still pretty massive. And I think if you count the base plates, I think it's about 16 feet across. So I'm going to guess maybe 15 to 20 base plates across. Yeah, it's pretty massive. And this was the time when I was looking at it and I said, so how do you get involved with this? And I knew Ferg. So Ferg is here on the far left. I met Ferg at Bricks by the Bay, and that was in 2019. And he told me to go to BrickCon. And then this was only a couple months after that. So Ferg kind of legitimized me by saying that, yeah, she's a good builder. So he's the one who said, yeah, she can build. And then JJ here, he's the one who said, we need a vet services hospital, and are you willing to wear a lab coat? Because if you look at everybody here, they're all wearing like ranger outfits, and we've got a maintenance technician outfit, and then I think another like guest services kind of thing, but nobody's wearing a lab coat, right? And I said, yeah, I could do that. I can absolutely do that. So that's, when people ask, how did you get involved in this? Is I just asked. I think that's part of it, is just if you want to get involved in something, you just ask, what do you need? And so this is when we had the pandemic. So they did not have one in 2021, but they did have it in 2022. And it doubled in size, because now look at how much it took over the entire section here. But the thing is, you notice it's flat. So one thing that we talked about as a team is that in 2023, we need to add some terrain and add some mountains or what have you. And so March of 2022, you still have the train going around. The trains are still a big part of the Jurassic Park collab. We had this gondola that was built by Daryl, and then we had the gate that was still there. So you can see it just kind of adds onto itself. And there I am wearing the lab coat. The only person wearing the lab coat, because everybody else is wearing either maintenance outfits or ranger outfits. And this is how I got involved in this collab. That was in last year, in 2022. Actually, 2022. Now, he didn't post 2023 yet because the photos aren't there. But I think if you look at my Instagram, the biggest change is we have a volcano, a massive volcano. And that was made by Mark, who is known for really large terrain. And he joined the team and he brought it. Oh my God, he brought it. He brought this massive volcano, which let me see if I don't know. I think I have one shot that I posted on my Instagram account. Let's see if I can find it here. If not, I'll pull up his account. But okay, you can. It's actually it's part of this video, so I don't want to post it here, or I can't show it to you here. So let me pull up his account, because I know he's got it. It's like living with bricks, I think. I hope that's his account. No. Okay. What is Mark's account? This is where trying to find it on the fly. Living underscore. Okay, not finding it. Okay, let me go back to Olson's page, because I have a feeling he might have a picture of the volcano. How can you not have a picture of the volcano? How can I not have a picture of the volcano? I have it on my phone, but I don't see it. Why don't I see it? Okay, somebody else. Oh, I think it was Beyond the Brick. Let's check Beyond the Brick. And I'm really glad I did the building first, because you can see I'm gradually getting more and more in the spotlight, right? Let's see, Beyond the Brick. I'm sure Beyond the Brick posted it. What? Does Beyond the Brick have underscores? Wow. Okay, I don't know why I'm not finding it. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking, because this volcano is freaking amazing, and if you haven't seen it, it just, like I said, it really is very striking. Oh, I know who might have it. Kai would have it. Okay, I'm gonna look under Kai's account. He goes by Mac underscore Kai underscore Ver. Mac Kai Ver. He's got to have it in his account. I'm sure of it. Let's see. Volcano. Where's the volcano? Okay. Well, nobody's posted the volcano. I haven't even posted. I posted it as, like I said. Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up on my phone and then show it on my down camera, because it is just freaking amazing. And I also have a photo of the two Lego masters looking at the phone, or not the phone, looking at the volcano, because they just thought it was really, really cool. All right, let me pull this up. Let me check the chat. Oops. No. No, I didn't want to play a YouTube. All right, you guys are not chatty. Okay, no problem. All right, let me just check this real quick, because like I said, this volcano was freaking amazing, which just goes to show you I need to post it, because nobody else has posted it. How can you not post that volcano? All right. Okay. Here's a good shot, and I'm going to go ahead and put my down camera up. And okay. So check that out. That volcano. And look, it's sitting on a table, and it goes up to above the hips of these guys talking to each other. So that's the builder's on the far left. His name is Mark, and he is the builder of this massive volcano. And you can kind of see, you can kind of see in the volcano right here, there's a tunnel, and that's where a monorail goes through. And to the right of that is another little tunnel that we didn't use, but this other opening was used for a train, if we wanted to have a train going through the mountain. So he designed that. Oops. And then we have another view of Lego Master Yo Fire Bricks, also known as Stephen Yo, one of the firefighters, who was looking at it, because he said he's working on a tiki collab, and he said he really wants to have a volcano in there. So anyway, that volcano was also lit up at night. They had sound effects for the volcano. And then the volcano also had the ability to put up like a fog machine, but unfortunately it started working and then it didn't work. So we couldn't actually display that. But next year, that volcano is still going to be a centerpiece. But you can see just year after year after year, it just keeps getting better and better. And each builder brings something to the table. And it was just really, I just feel just so honored to be a part of it all. I mean, some of these builders are very prolific. Like Ferg, who I showed you earlier, he has probably made almost the entire Main Street area. Daryl, who built that gondola, he built the gondola, he built a hotel, he built these pterodactyl cages. I mean, there's just some amazing builders, but I feel that my mock, which is a 2-story veterinary services building that is 64 wide by 32 deep. That one is on a Mills set of plates, which I converted just on Thursday and Friday. I brought my building at like Friday at 3 o'clock, 3 hours before the public was coming. And then you saw the video on my Instagram feed where I ended up passing it to somebody who passed it to Dave, who passed it to Ferg, and Ferg was standing on the table because they had already filled in the front. So he was standing on the table and put my mock in place in the back. So it was just a really good team effort. So I was just going to say, if you ever get a chance to go to a con, participate in some of the collabs. I have participated also in the Tricky Lug collab. I brought with me a friend's castle. I brought with me the bunker, which is also part of a collab, so the Ursula bunker. I brought the Micropolis modules. You saw the one with the golden spine tower, so that was one city block. And then I brought another city block, which was my Lavender City with the BBN tower. And then the last one was my big Jurassic World Vet Services building. So yeah, I didn't bring as much as I did last year, and I'm kind of glad. I think just by focusing on that. Oh, and I brought my Rorschach prints, and that was the only one that wasn't part of a collab. The 2 Rorschach prints were in art, and that's the only thing I did that was not part of a collab. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I would recommend you go to a convention. Try to get to one. I think both Brick Jedi and Spot, I think you both need to get to a convention. I was hoping Brick Jedi, you were maybe going to sneak in up at BricksCascade, but next year, put it on your calendar, March of next year. I think it's March 21st, I think, or thereabouts. But yeah, put it on your calendar. I'd love to see you there. So I think that's probably a good place to stop, because right now you can see it's getting darker. I'm really glad, though, that these 2 lights are at least illuminating me. So for the video, it's still going to work out. But I definitely need to change the lighting in this area, because the down camera now has not that much light. So I'm really glad that I got a chance to show you how the Golden Spine Tower was put together. But thank you, everybody. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to the stream because you're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network here on YouTube. I will upload this later to Rumble. And if you want to send me snail mail, my new address is P.O. Box 87232, Vancouver, Washington, 98684. And some other announcements. You notice I'm wearing this hat. This is a New Zealand icon, the kiwi and the silver fern. This is a hat for the National Rugby League Kiwis team. And we are going to be starting Lego Masters New Zealand coming up first Friday in June. So we're going to be starting June 2nd, every Friday, at least at the moment, we're targeting Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific, which is 8 o'clock Eastern. And what we're doing is, the reason why we chose that time is that's noon during a Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday for the New Zealanders. If it's not Friday, we'll shift it to Saturday, but I'm waiting for confirmation because my new co-host is going to be PT McEwen. And PT and I are going to be interviewing these Lego Masters from New Zealand and talking about their builds. They had 9 episodes, so it'll start on June 2nd, continue on for 9 weeks. One of those weeks I'm going to be at Brick Rodeo, so PT might have to run that by himself or with a co-host. We'll have to work that out. Or maybe I can jump in, but he's going to have to start it. And but the one on June 2nd, I'm going to be in Phoenix, and I'll just start it from my parents' house. So that's one announcement, is we're going to be doing the Lego Masters New Zealand Season 2. And then the other announcement is right now we're collaborating. Debo Bricks and I are collaborating with Brighton Bricks about raising awareness for mental health and using that same set, the 3-in-1 set, the Fantasy Forest Creatures, where we did the mock improv not too long ago. So we're going to do that between May 15th and May 31st. So if you have the set at home, which I know some of you do, then you can just re-brick it. And I know Debo pretty much has done that already, but you can't use anything else except what's in the set. You might be able to use a base plate if you need to attach to something, but yeah, that's the Rebrick This challenge along with Brighton Bricks. So that's over the next 2 weeks. I will be streaming on Thursday, and I went to the local Barnes and Noble, and I think I decided, I don't have it with me, but I'm pretty sure I had decided, I think, on a Minecraft set. I will double check, but I think it's a Minecraft set that's in $19.99, and we will build that on stream. But I'll put out a notice. It's like the bag is over there. I could just, let me go grab the bag real quick. Here, let me put my down camera up. You can look at my mock again. I'll be right back. Let me just grab that. Okay, I'm back. Whoa. I'm glad that the camera didn't go away. Yep, I was right. Minecraft set. This Minecraft set, which is the Fox Lodge. So it's the Fox Lodge, 193 pieces, 21178. Put this on my down camera. Maybe this won't have the glare. 21178 Minecraft set. The Fox Lodge. The lodge actually looks like a fox's face, which I think is hilarious. So you're hoping to go next year. Oh, good. Put it on your calendar. That'd be great. Yes, have a great night. Thank you, Spot. Yeah. So anyway, so this is the set we're going to be working on. $19.99. I got it from Barnes and Noble, and I am going to be working on that. And I also got this set, as I mentioned. I got another one, so I have a fresh copy. This is the 3-in-1 Fantasy Forest Creatures set, 31125. That's the one we're going to do a Rebrick This. You don't have to use all the pieces in the set when you do your Rebrick This. You can do multiple ones, and just make sure you use hashtag Rebrick This and hashtag Mind the Brick, because we are raising mental awareness and through our creativity. So once again, thank you for hanging out and for being a part of the show. And I am looking forward to seeing you Thursday when I build that Fox Lodge set. And we'll be doing the Lego Masters Season 2 New Zealand reviews in a couple weeks. So really excited about everything that's coming up. So thank you again, everybody. And as they say on the BricksCascade Broadcast Network, thank you, and may the clutch be with you. See ya. Bye.